After hours of waiting in line, we finally broke through the gates of Paul Bunyan. Mike was hitting on the old woman taking the money.
She wanted it.
I think he got her phone number. She couldn't have been a day, not a day over 75, so.
I like it.
It's looking good, looking good. We're going to park the old Nissan Rogue here. We're going to walk in here and see the sights and sounds finally. Got around a little late this morning, a little later than probably should have. This Eastern time. I'm not used to this Eastern time. We're going to walk in here and see all this cool stuff. A lot of people here, man. Traffic was, we got off I-70 and traffic on the off-ramp was like stopped, like people coming to the show. So, big line of people behind us. A lot of people here. Me and Mike might hijack one of these golf carts to get around on. We're feeling old today. Let's go look at some logging equipment. What a time to be alive. They've got battery-powered chainsaws. Go power beyond belief. My gosh. I don't think I'd take one to the woods with me, but man, there's all kinds of neat stuff here. It's the first time I've ever been to one of these. We've checked out the Komatsu feller bunchers. Man, those things are huge. We're just kind of making our way down through here, kind of looking at things, seeing everything work, seeing everything operate, kind of taking it all in, man. It's pretty cool stuff. Easton-made wood splitters. I've seen them on Facebook a lot. Pretty neat to see a lot of this stuff. They just fired up the old Baker Sawmill here. I'm pretty sure the Baker products are out of Missouri. They're out of Elsinore, Missouri. So, Missouri folks there. It's down there in the southeastern part, a little ways from me there. I've been down to Elsinore, that area. I bought my jet boat down there when I used to have a jet boat, but now they're firing up the old Baker. Now they're sawing logs. Pretty cool stuff. Which thing? That old thing? Looks like a little brush cutter on like a little dingo.
It's cute.
That is quite. It's like a walk-behind brush mower for small right-of-way clearing operations. Rayco chippers. This big Ponzi here is what I'm interested in. Looks like the Scorpion. See, we don't, like the type of logging we do here there in southwest Missouri, we don't even have things like that, man. That's just, there's so many things out here we're seeing that I've never really got to see much of. It's all kind of new to me, and I like it. I mean, it's cool as can be. And it just like when we were looking at the Komatsu feller bunchers earlier, you know, in pictures, you know those machines are big, but a lot of times it's hard to grasp really how big they are until you get right up to them. I've seen these Ponzi Scorpions, which I think that's the Scorpion or Scorpion King, whatever they call it. I've seen them. I've watched the videos on YouTube. Just, I mean, because I'm a logger and I like stuff like that, but man, it's pretty cool to get to see it and just see how big it is. And it's really, the engineering on a lot of this stuff pretty complex. It's amazing how far logging technology, I can't even talk, amazing how far logging technology has come in a really a short amount of time, you know. I mean, if you look back when my dad was logging, he was younger. Man, this stuff was just like science fiction, what we're seeing today. And when you get down to the grand scheme of things, that's not been that many years ago. I mean, it has, but in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't. So, got a lot to see. A lot to see yet. This is a Wood-mizer LT70 watching it work, and I think he's got an edger up there. Got the edger going. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of guys back home, smaller guys that run those little Wood-mizer LT sawmills. Pretty good boards coming off that log, pretty good size. I don't miss those days at all. When I was a little kid, we used to have a sawmill, and when I was 9 and 10 years old, I used to get up out there and off-bear for my dad. And kudos to the guys that do it every day. I mean, it'll make you a monster. You got to have a strong back and a weak mind, though. So that's a laboring job off-bearing on the sawmill. So you guys that get out there and off-bear, you guys are tougher than I am for sure. That edger's pretty slick there, man. There's sometimes I do miss the sawmill inside of logging, like when Dad had his sawmill. We used to have a kiln, or I guess we still got the kiln. We had a kiln, had a planer. So sawmilling was fun, it really was, but it was a lot of work. And I had a guy tell me one time, you can either do one or the other. You can either cut timber or buy logs for your sawmill. You really can't do both. And that's kind of getting to the point with buying timber or cutting timber anymore. I mean, even since I've been out here, you know, the 24 hours we've left, or a little over 24 hours, I've booked 3 appointments for the upcoming weeks. It's just, I'm always getting calls, and you know, I try to look at everybody's timber accordingly, but it gets to where it's hard to look at timber and cut timber both, and that's why it's a 7-day-a-week job. I did feel a little guilty coming out here to take off work a few days, but I really wanted to come out here and see all this because I've never been to a logging show. So we're going to keep walking around. Like we got a little John Deere skid steer up here, a little bitty guy. Tell it's got those narrow tracks on it. Well, maybe them are. No, them are the narrow tracks. 329E model. Mike, you'd look good in that.
Look good in anything.
Man, that'd be awesome. I'd like to run one of those just one time. That is a big carrier. I've been close to these mulching heads before. I actually hired one time to clear a deck area on a job for me, and it was just on a Cat 299. They are impressive machines. I've always thought that right-of-way work would be a fun job to have. I always thought that'd be enjoyable work. Man, those things are big. Big machines. This one here is a little smaller, I guess, but man, that's still a big one. 128, 290, 299. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like a kid in a candy store out here. Look at those hydraulic hoses. My gosh. You know it takes a lot of oil to run one of these, though. I see them on the little rubber track like the Caterpillar skid steers, and I don't see how they can cool the oil enough to run those mulchers like they do. You know it just takes a lot from the machine. Finally, here to the John Deere place. Got a rotoback head on this one. I mean, that's just a trap hoe, more or less, like a little forestry guard package on it. She's on, the show special, only $266. If I'd have brought my trailer, I'd have just brought it home. I've always thought I'd like to have one of these buck saw tables. I always thought that'd be handy for what we do on those oak jobs, which we don't cut a whole lot of oak anymore, but if I had something like this so I didn't have to buck logs, it might make me want to cut more oak timber. These tables are pretty big. Like I said, this is stuff I don't get to see a lot where I log at in the area we log. And just that chain alone, my gosh, look how big that chain is. It's huge. Of course, there you got the iron, man. Deere skidders. Murphy tractor. Man, that was awesome. Awesome stuff. Rotobeck grapple's pretty big there. Let's check out these skidders. I guess this is the new 648L. Got the turnaround seat. This is kind of what interests me here. The old 640 cable. Man, that turnaround seat in it. And they finally got those where they're easy to get up in. That turnaround seat, that just amazes me. How all that comes to play. Huh. Wow. I'm not going to get up in there. Man. How the winch sets up out there like that. Man. It's got some 24 32s on it. Man. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Now that is pretty cool. That is a like a buck saw grapple attachment for a little bitty deer. Little bitty deer. I was actually talking to the gentleman in there in charge of these things because me and Brandon have kicked around the idea of trying to buy a little rubber track hoe, and that right there just puts a lot more incentive on buying one, getting an attachment like that. That's pretty awesome right there. I actually got the business card and the name of the guy. I might have to check into that a little more. 331, I've never heard of that model. Huh. This is a thing of beauty right here. My gosh. Look at that. New Peterbilt. Behind the cab mount. 2124 Prentice. That is just beautiful. Oh my God. I do believe in love at first sight now. Mike, why can't you look that good? Got a push axle in the back. Man, that's nice. That is a good looking setup right there. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm a Mack guy, but I do love a Peterbilt. Do love a Peterbilt. Then we got this big monstrosity right here. Tiger Cat. Man, those things are just huge. I can't believe how big they are. Look at the head. That head is huge. 5702 Tiger Cat head. That is a big machine. You know, years ago when I heard guys were actually cutting hardwood timber with these, I was like, there's no way they can do it. There's no way. But man, after seeing the videos on YouTube and of course stuff now and all the videos of the equipment dealers or the equipment companies that have the equipment doing it, and seeing how big these things are in person, it's definitely made me a believer. Well, that's the old Bobby Goodson special. Wow, what a machine. What a machine. Man, look at the cleats on that. I bet those are 3 inches. 3 inches. Well, if it's 3, let's just call it 8. Did you hear that, Kurt? 25 years since 1992. Look at those cylinders. Those rams are huge. My gosh. Mikey's over here perched out on the old Peter wagon. So much to see, Mike. So much to see. Now here's something that I'm really fascinated in. Tiger Cat's back to making small cable skidders. And I think that's great. I honestly do. I think these things will be a hot item. Since Deere's got away from the smaller skidders, which I think was a big mistake. This is the new 602. That thing is perfect in every sense of the word right there. That is the perfect size. I love the configuration of this. That is a huge winch. Love the configuration of this. This door's locked. I was actually going to get in this one. Man, little 23 ones on it. It's heavy. It's still, don't get me wrong, it still looks heavy. It's sold too. Wow. I honestly do. I think these will be a big seller for Tiger Cat. These 604s and 602s. I think these 602s will sell like hotcakes. I think you'll be seeing a lot of these in Missouri in the years to come. Man, that's awesome. They've got it locked up since it's sold. Don't blame them. I wouldn't want somebody crawling around it either. How does this work? Kurt, this is what we were talking about, wasn't it? That whole back end. So your front axle, I see what you're talking about now, Kurt. Me and Kurt were talking on the phone yesterday about this. He was trying to tell me the details. And this, it oscillates. Man, that is awesome right there. A good way to keep all your rubber on the ground at all time, keep the machine pulling. That is cool. I do. I was really want to get in the cab of this to take a look at it. That would be something that I would be interested in buying in the future someday. That is awesome. I'm glad to see that. I am glad to see something like this. Which I think these 604s are good looking skidders too. I really do. But that 602, I think that's a big ticket deal right there. Big ticket deal. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Giggity. That's pretty cool right there, how that oscillates there in the back. And you see it here on the 604. Don't have that feature. That's awesome. I think that'll be a good deal. Man, I was really wanting to get in there. Really wanting to get in there. Mike, did you bring the checkbook?
Sure, you take a check.
Oh yeah. If I take a check, I'll pay the whole thing off today.
I got it.
Wow. You think you'd rode this home if I buy it?
Take a few days to get there.
We might wear out a set of tires, but I think we got what it takes. We're gonna take a look up in here. I'm curious about a lot of things. Oh my gosh. I said I wasn't going to climb up any machines, but I'm so curious about these turnaround seats. Visibility's good. Radio, backup mirrors, joystick controls, kind of like a joystick control, kind of like my cat skid steer. Huh. The pedals, 2 pedals front and back. Visibility's really good. I don't know how you turn the seat, and I'm not going to press that issue. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wow. Tiger Cat turnaround. And a Caterpillar. It's the $299 mulcher on it. Sure is, man. I kind of wish I'd have bought the $299 now instead of the $289. I really do. She's just like mine. See, now here's what I want right here. Right here. This is what I want. I must have this setup right here on my skid steer. Mike, this is the setup I want on my skid steer right here. I must know more about this. That is, man, that would make my skid steer like the ultimate machine. I don't need the mulcher, don't need the big oil cooler, but I need that winch on the back. That is sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Man. $299 D2 XHP. I do like that little 305 there too. That's about the size I need right there, that 305. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Timber Pro. I hear these machines are just awesome. Anymore I see a lot of them sold. Don't know much about them because, once again, you won't see really any of these in Southwest Missouri. Maybe 1 or 2 rogue ones that come through every now and then, but LED lights, that's a long ways up to the cab. Look at that set of steps. Man, it's huge. These machines are huge. It's probably a good thing my dad didn't bring me to something like this when I was like 5 or 6 years old. I'd be worse now about equipment than I already am. If I see things like this, I'm like, man, I've got to have something like this someday. That is beyond cool. 735C. Man, that is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mike, he's there trying to break it. He's testing the durability. I promise you, Mike could tear up a sledgehammer in a swimming pool. He's the only man I know who could break ball bearings. Mike can break a ball bearing. Some forestry mulcher heads here. Awesome. Just awesome. I don't care about guessing the footage on this, which I guess is what they're wanting to do, but some pretty impressive logs. And this is a beautiful, beautiful Mack truck. I could do without those two pushers in the front and this tag axle in the back, but that is a good looking truck. Pretty good looking logs. I got one lone walnut on there. Man, if I cut a walnut tree like that, my dad would skin me alive. That is a slouchy looking cut on that walnut. Which I know these guys hinge cut these. Was that poplar? We don't have poplar in the part of Missouri I'm in, but I'm guessing that's what those are. Poplar. That is a good looking white oak, I'm guessing. It kind of looks like a white oak. It's a good looking log. But my guess on footage, if it's Doyle scale, probably about 3,200 feet. I'm getting where I'm about Paul Bunyan'd out. I've seen everything. Talked to a few people. It's been fun catching up, putting names and faces. We're going to walk around a little more before we close out the day and see the rest of the sites. I had to come back and look at this 602 again. Just reading some of the things about it here, it's really piqued my interest. I'd kind of see a list of things they got going on there. It looks like a really well-built, well-made skidder. I think it would be perfect for what a lot of the guys in Missouri do. I really do, and I think Tiger Cattle sell a lot of these little skidders. I don't know what the price is. I mean, of course, that's always going to be the biggest factor in it all, but I mean, I think they'll sell several of them. It's a good-looking machine. So I'm really impressed with that. Really impressed with that. Look, it's got the stacking extensions here on the blade. That's pretty cool. So you can have the blade the same width as your machine, which I think is pretty handy, especially for building log roads or roads you're going to run your trucks up and down to get and extract logs or haul your logs out. Yeah, I just had to see this bad boy again. FAE. These are pretty cool carriers. Pretty cool carriers. Huh. Just can't get over on this thing here. This is what really impresses me. That's got to be a Caterpillar undercarriage, isn't it? That's what I would think. High track design. Wouldn't that be Cat? Somebody? Anybody? That thing is just a monster, especially to be on a stump grinder. Man, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Of course, we're over here in chippers and hogs, and of course, this is kind of where we started at today with these big Komatsu feller bunchers. So just big machines. Just 460 and a 445. Just big machines. I think we've about logged ourselves out for the day. We've seen a lot. We've been here a while. It was a fun trip, man. It was worth coming out here to see. It really was. No, we're gonna. Mike, stop soliciting young women. We're gonna make another round or two yet, or not round, but there's a few things I wanted to walk up to and see. It's been awesome talking to people and putting faces with the names, getting to talk log and getting to talk timber with people. It's been a fun time, and getting to see all this big equipment's been fun too. 748L, 24,000 hood. Yeah, just a lot of neat stuff. definitely, I'd definitely come back. I'd definitely like to come back next year. And I've seen some things out here that I probably didn't need to see because now I'm going to want to spend more money, which I was afraid of that when I come out here. I left my checkbook out in the Nissan Rogue. But, wow, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Lots of chips and mulch, or I don't know, I guess that's mulch. You wouldn't call that, I guess these on the ground would be chips, wouldn't they? These are chips. We'll say those are chips. I'm not a man that knows much about chipping or mulching. The only time I had a mulcher, I had I forget what model Moorbark I had. I had a bucket truck at one time that seemed like a good idea. And I guess it worked out. I thought it was an avenue I wanted to go down, and I bought a bucket truck and chipper. Got a pretty good buy on it. And I used to get all kinds of calls about people wanting tree work done. It's like, well, it'd be kind of fun to fill in the voids. Then I no more than buy it, and those calls stopped coming in. And, we did make some money with it, though. Then I had a chance to sell it for quite a bit more than I paid for it. And me being the businessman I am, I jumped all over that. There's a big old Moorbark there. I'd kind of like to see one of these work. Self-feeder, my gosh. How'd you like to get caught in that thing? Wouldn't that be quick? I would think, quick. Mike, I'm gonna need you to climb up in there.
Just jump, how about that?
Yeah, get up there and make sure everything's running right when it's on, please.
I would break it.
Mike probably would break it. Mike probably would break it. He'd get in there and the teeth would just shatter, those carbide teeth. A lot of people here. On the way out here, we spotted an antique there on the wall. Does anybody know what that is hanging on that wall right there? Mike, what is that on the wall?
That's a payphone.
A pay
Back in the
phone?
20th century, we used to communicate over telephone lines. They're made of metal that.
Pay phone? Payphone?
It's a 20th century thing.
It doesn't work.
Antique.
Antiquity. Oh, how does it work, Mike? Could you just give us the rundown how that payphone works, please?
Yeah, you put a quarter in, pick it up. Now
Whoa, Mike.
$2.25 to continue.
Only 25 cents to make a call.
No, 25 cents to get the operator.
25
then they
cents.
make you pump in about another 8 quarters. To
Eight
make any call at all.
Wow, and you could talk to anyone, anywhere? No.
No, that's just within your area code.
Oh. The things you learn on the road. Mike Smith, a mountain of knowledge and antiquities, Michael Smith.
What happens when you're old, you know stuff.
Ontario, Canada.
Yep.
Here at the old swine barn, they've got a payphone. And draft horses. Wow, what a day at Paul Bunyan. So much cool stuff, and yet I wrote no checks. Partly because any check I wrote would have bounced from here to the moon. Mike, I thought he'd maybe bail me out, like loan me a few bucks, but...
I got you in here, didn't I?
Yeah, Mike had to pay our way in here, because I didn't have any cash. I had like four $1 bills. You could tell where my mind was at, what I thought we were going to do today. Wasn't go to the Paul Bunyan show, it was go to another show. A shoe show of sorts. Yeah, Paul Bunyan was awesome. Had a great time. A lot of cool stuff. It's definitely worth the drive out here. I mean, however many light years away we are from Missouri, I feel like we're in another part of the world. But no, it's not bad. Ohio's not bad. It's pretty country. Said all kinds of cool stuff. The things that impressed me most today were, do we need to go that way? Mike's girlfriend up here. You got her number, right, Mike?
No, I gave her mine.
Oh, you gave her yours? Are we coming back for her? She'll probably come to the hotel and meet up with Mike later. Go out to dinner with us.
She'll drive to Missouri.
Mike is the most charming man you would ever meet. Like, most of the time, prostitutes give Mike money. That's how it works. I mean,
Most of the time. I've never paid a prostitute.
See, all the time. They give the money to Mike.
Not willingly sometimes.
Anyway, the things that impressed me most today here at Paul Bunyan, of course, was that 602 Tiger Cat skidder. I honestly, I know I've talked a lot today about that in this video, but I really do think for Tiger Cat, I think that'll be a big deal. I was talking to Eric Canada about it. We actually ran into each other and talked to each other for a while, and man, both of us were talking about how that would just be an awesome skidder for the type of operations we run, other than it probably, you know, cost $250,000, which, and I don't know the price tag on it, I really don't. If Tiger Cat would keep those prices on those little skidders down, and even if they come out with like another little grapple skidder, John Deere made the biggest mistake in the world when they discontinued the 540 and the 548. Dumb. Because there are a lot of guys like me out there, like what Eric does, so many of us, that we know we're select cut operations. We're not buying these big, you know, 635, 748Ls, triple nickel Caterpillars. We're not buying that stuff, the select cut guys. We're not buying these big Komatsu, these big Tiger Cat cutting machines. That's just not what we do. That's not the type of logging we do. And there's a lot more loggers like us out there than there are these big guys running these big operations. Not knocking the big guys either. Not doing it. Love their operations. A little jealous in a way. But aside from the 602 Tiger Cat, the next thing I was impressed with, of course, was that Caterpillar 299D X2 with the winch. That, honestly, and like I said in the previous video, if anybody from Caterpillar watches my videos, you need to talk to some loggers, whether it be myself or some other guys, about building a forestry specific package for those little skid steers, the 299s with the 289s, because that winch, I want that winch. I want that winch bad on my machine. I don't care if I have to trade my machine off for a 99, I want that set up. That would be the icing on the cake to an already perfect machine. That was the coolest thing I seen in the whole show today. Easy there, Win. It was hot out here, which I guess that's the trend now. I mean, in October you don't have any cool fall weather. You have hot weather, then it turns straight to winter. But where was I going with this? Yeah, cool show, a lot of cool stuff. It's just things I don't get to see every day, especially in Missouri. I know a lot of these guys up here in Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Virginias. It's probably stuff that you guys run and see every day. And there in the part of Missouri I'm from, we just don't get to do it. And it was awesome coming out here to see it, meet everybody, see a lot of people. I'll definitely come back, I know that. I'd like to go to Virginia in 2018, the Virginia Expo. West Virginia, somewhere out there. Mike didn't have to beat up anybody today, so it's a win-win day for Mike, you know. Win-lose day. Michael Smith once used his own thigh as an anvil. I mean, he's that kind of man. He's the man most men, you know, model themselves to be.
I feed on the blood of my victims. It gives me power.
It's no lie. I've seen him do it twice in the 80s too. Guys, thanks a lot for hanging out with us today. Had a lot of fun at the expo. It was great to see you guys. We're gonna stay the night over here and what's this place at? Zanesville. We're staying in Zanesville where we stayed last night. So we'll head back tomorrow. We're not gonna get up super early and head back, but we'll get up tomorrow and head back, make that trek all the way back to Missouri. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. If you were at the show and I missed you, sorry. Come over to Zanesville tonight. Let's go out to dinner. Have a few glasses of water. We'll be over here hanging out for the rest of the evening and the night. Guys, thanks for following. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Check us out on all of our social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube. Be sure to check out Timber Tracker on Facebook and Instagram and that app. Free app to download. Be sure to the website, timbertracker.net, and Logger Threads. Guys, we're hungry. We're a little tired. We're a little thirsty. We might be dehydrated. Mike, who you waving at?
Yeah.
Mike's waving at you guys. You got to keep Mike in check. He gets a little squirrely from time to time. You got to watch him back there. He's been making faces at kids all morning. I think he flipped off like a carload of nuns earlier.
They wanted him.
They're Listen, guys, we're getting off here. Be sure to be here tomorrow when we get to drive back there to East St. Louis. Mike was wanting to stop in at his favorite park, was it, in East St. Louis?
We're on camera. I'm not going to talk about it.
Can't talk about Fight Club. Can't talk about Fight Club. Guys, thanks a lot. We will see you later. See ya.